This year is the 100-year birthday anniversary of the great Russian writer Alexandra Solzhenyitsyn. His works, including the famous The Gulag Archipelago and The Red Wheel, significantly influenced the history of the 20th century. The image of the Red Wheel appeared in the writer's childhood when he saw the railway turn around.
Our city of Kislovodsk is the end of the rails and the end of the world. There is nothing after Kislovodsk, just mountains. And where should the locomotive go? It detaches from the carriages, together with its large red wheels, goes over to the circle, and the circle slowly turns.
When the wheel of history turned, Solzhenitsyn returned to Russia and began a 4-year-long journey around the country. Having returned from the West, he began his way from the East.
Any talks, not restricted by anyone, and crowd after every meeting. The exchange of thoughts and phrases went on with thousands of people.
Solzhenitsyn, who told the world about the tragic pages of history, was finding the living sources of the creative force of Russian people in the past.
The forms of bright community activities of our folk are Kievan Rus, Suzdal Orthodox, Times of Novgorod and Pskov Democracy, free Cossacks at a dozen of southern and Siberian rivers, and also the village community, the functioning of which was approved to be equal to English parliamentarism by Mackenzie Wallace, the attentive English observer, in the 19th century.
Solzhenitsyn considered Pomoria, the northern area from Karelia to Ural, to be the motherland of the Russian democratic tradition, instead of Novgorod with its assemblies.
The protected area of democratic environment and rich free villagers was formed in Pomoria. Here the Russian character could develop freely. It is not an accident that the light of Lomonosov also came from Pomoria.
Being the critic of the 300-year-old empire of the Romanovs, which did not grudge the folk power, Solzhenitsyn was finding the signs of talent and energy of the folk in this period.
A few adventurous Russian people mastered the enormous Siberian landscape. The 18th century in Siberia amazes us, showing what the peaceful folk actions can do. The great growth of Russian labor, skills, and remarkable metallurgic production, and Russian trades from Ural all over Siberia to Chukotka, Aleutian Islands, and Alaska.
The writer believed that there was complete freedom of private business in Russia at the beginning of the 20th century, and the country was quite democratic.
The independence and transparency of the court, strict lawfulness of judgment, were approved from the 19th century, as well as press without previous censorship. And from 1906, the true parliament and multi-party system were approved as well.
Being the staunch opponent of the Sovietism, Solzhenitsyn stated that the Soviet development is not the continuation of Russian, but it is the deviation moving in the newest and most unnatural direction hostile to the folk.
By studying the subject, I made sure that mass bloody revolutions are always disastrous for the folks among which they take place.
The humanistic idea of saving the folk, which underwent the incredible suffering, became the main testament of the writer.
In 1754, during the reign of Elizabeth, Pyotr Ivanovich Shuvalov offered a surprising project of saving the folk. Isn't he strange? But that was where the state wisdom was.